On September 23, 2014, Assyrian-American attorney Robert DeKelaita was indicted on federal immigration fraud charges. Authorities allege that DeKelaita falsified accounts of Christian persecution in Iraq throughout his career. In the past decade, Iraq's Christians have been subject to both ethnic and religious persecution in the form of kidnappings, rape, torture, and murder. For example, in October of 2010, 58 Iraqi Christians were massacred in their church in Baghdad by Islamic militants. 78 more were severely wounded in the attack. The charges filed against DeKelaita came right after ISIS invaded the Nineveh plain, forcing hundreds of thousands of Iraqi Christians out of their homes after giving them three options: convert, flee, or die. This reality left many people confused as to the timing and the reason for the charges. Asylum is a form of protection extended to individuals by the United States government. Asylum seekers must prove that they have a well-founded fear of future persecution based on race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, and/or political opinion. This persecution must either be carried out by the government or a group that the government cannot control. A person who is granted political asylum may remain in the United States indefinitely and may apply for permanent residence after 1 year. Despite the fact that Iraqi Christians have been actively persecuted throughout the last century, federal officials often stated that Iraqi Christians failed to prove that they would face a pattern and practice of ethnic and religious persecution in Muslim-dominated Iraq. One immigration judge issued an order in November of 2014 stating that DeKelaita's office was, quote, cherry-picking the facts regarding Christian persecution in Iraq. An Iraqi Christian himself, DeKelaita has successfully represented thousands of asylum applicants. Because he was born in Iraq and spent his childhood there, he experienced the persecution firsthand and knows what his clients have been through. Some of his work has even been done pro bono. Authorities claim that DeKelaita would coach his Iraqi Christian clients to present false accounts of persecution in order to obtain asylum, essentially discrediting the plight of these people. The investigation has been ongoing for nearly 8 years, and authorities have been using unlawful methods while building their case, including illegal wiretapping and intimidation tactics. The Department of Homeland Security, together with the FBI, approached a number of DeKelaita's former clients in their own homes, some of them with cases dating back to 2001. They interrogated the individuals for hours about their asylum cases, many of them now United States citizens. The federal agents told the clients essentially that they were to testify against DeKelaita, threatening them with further action on their closed cases. They were not made aware that they could refuse to speak, or that if they chose to, they had the right to an attorney. And out of fear of deportation or imprisonment, many of them were forced to wrongfully confess to immigration fraud. Some refused to comply, however, maintaining that the persecution of Christians in Iraq is very real. A total of 12 of these former clients were cited as the government's witnesses in this case. All 12 of them were Iraqi Christians, despite the fact that at least half of DeKelaita's clientele were Muslim or of a different ethnic or religious background. The number of witnesses dropped as the court date of May 18, 2015 approached, primarily because many of the testimonies failed to hold ground. On the morning of May 18th, the same morning DeKelaita's trial was set to begin, it was postponed until October of 2015. Now with an extra 6 months, DHS continued to harass more of DeKelaita's former clients and issued a subpoena to all individuals on his witness list, seemingly to discourage them from testifying. The subpoenas were later put on hold as the defense made a motion to prove misconduct. And then on August 6, 2015, the trial was again postponed until April of 2016 as the prosecution presented new witnesses and evidence after recent interrogations. Though the true motivation behind the charges remains unclear, federal authorities are not only violating the rights of lawful U.S. residents and citizens, they are taking advantage of a vulnerable minority and ultimately challenging the reality of Christian persecution in Iraq. To accept these charges and this misconduct is to accept the outrageous notion that there is no Christian persecution in Iraq, which is why the Stand with Robert Committee was formed in opposition. It seems that the government has added fine print to the phrase, justice for all.